Blatant disregard for the rules going on here.
My candle just detonated out of nowhere. How the f*** does that happen?
I'll drop trowel again.
Carter goes naked on stream.
Forward or backwards for Adidas? I mean, dropping Kanye and then gaining D3 Young.
I mean, if they were out of alignment. Yeah, I got a question for the group.
Yeah, what do you got?
I got a bold take. Novak Djokovic will retire with 30 Grand Slams. Who agrees? Who disagrees?
I agree 100%. Thank you for saying that.
30.
100%.
I think he wins at least 2 this year, and he's going to win 2 for the next 3 or 4 years, and he'll get to 30 eventually.
I think we fall short. I think I got a little bit of faith in the up-and-comers. We'll see. I mean, Carlito's so fucking good. Like, I could see him running the table some of these years.
Yeah, but, what? He's going to win
It's still Djokovic.
He's going to win 3 or more Grand Slams a year? You think so? I just don't think Alcaraz has got that in him.
No, I don't know, but I'm not, leaving that out of the realm of possibility. But I think Djokovic will slow down sooner rather than later. He's how old is Djokovic? 36?
I think 34, 35. Around that, I don't know.
33, 34, yeah.
So I guess he's in much better form than Fed was at that age. I mean, Nadal's in good form still. And, Fed won a major at, 37? Right? So, yeah, I mean, maybe. Fuck. Maybe he will.
I mean, he definitely could.
You guys are forgetting about up-and-comer Leo Borg, the son of Bjorn Borg, just cracked into the top 1,000 in the world.
What?
Big timer.
Is that actually right?
He's got it in him.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying, watch out. You heard it here first.
Bold take, Matt.
I mean, we're gonna have to clip this for 8 years down the road when he wins an ATP 1000 or something.
I don't know. I don't think Djokovic is gonna hit 30 though. I don't see it. I think he can get to the high 20s. I'm gonna say he's gonna end his career at maybe 27.
So how many is he getting this year?
I think he'll get. Well, he's already got the 1, right? He won Australian, so he'll get 2 this year. Then
that's it.
Yeah, I think if Rafa's playing in Roland Garros, I think Rafa's gonna win it, and I think he might just retire after that. And I think, on grass, obviously Novak's definitely a favorite, but there's so many guys who can just serve. Granted, Berrettini's been playing like crap, but that guy always makes the quarters of every Grand Slam, or guys like Fritz or Carlito. These guys are all going to develop Jannik Sinner on different surfaces, and they're going to become dangerous. As Novak, regresses, these guys are all progressing. So I think
all those guys are fucking pretenders except for Sinner. None of them will win. No. Sinner's legit. That's the next question.
I'm not saying they're gonna win a major. I'm saying they can take him out in a tournament like that. They can have one good match and beat Djokovic as he's declining.
Bold take: Ben Shelton wins a Grand Slam before Taylor Fritz.
I can see it.
I hope so.
I like
he
it.
has no backhand.
His backhand's fine.
His backhand's so bad. Boys are back. Boys are back in town. We welcome you out to a new episode of TWI. I'm your host, Ike. We got an unreal crew, and we got special guests. We got 2 guests, actually. We got Petro Alex on the top and JF below him. But we are going to introduce the crew. So we got Matt Hokinson below them, Jared below him, Big Bet Barter, and then Eric P, always bit by bit. But first, we want to talk about the first guest, Petro, UND tennis player. Welcome to the show, Petro.
Thanks for having me, guys. Big fan. Been watching for a while now, and finally get to get on here, which is exciting. I'm happy to be here.
You're having an incredible season up at UND. You guys are, I believe it is 15-6 right now. What's been the highlight of your guys' season so far?
There's a lot of, it's the best year we've had in North Dakota history that we've played We've played a lot of matches this year. It's been tough, a lot of traveling. We've been to New York twice. We went out to Portland, Washington, Idaho. So we've been all over the country playing all indoors. We haven't played an outdoor match yet, so that's going to be tough. This weekend's senior day indoors, and then our conference tournament is actually outdoors. So going to be tough to adjust to that. But yeah, I mean, the highlight for me was probably we beat Army, which was pretty sick on their courts, and that's an insane facility. Probably one of the nicer facilities I've been to that like isn't a Big Ten facility. And yeah, that was probably the coolest match. But we've had a bunch of good ones this year. Beat Illinois State this year at home. 4 years in a row we've beaten them, and this year we beat them, and we do not like that team. So that was a sick win. Beat Oral Roberts 7-0, which was awesome. So yeah, beat Montana State, first time in program history, beating Montana State, which was sick. So we've had a lot of good highlighted wins this year.
Nice. And we got JF below him. So you got you decide ace let or let ace. What does that mean, JF?
Well, this is something I'm actually going to be really interested to hear from Petro about, because you and I talked about this a little bit. You know, this year everybody's playing lets on serves in college tennis. So what happens when you win the point on such a let? It's a sort of ace, I guess. So what's a good term for it? Do we go with ace let or let ace? You guys decide.
Oh, that's tough.
Wow. I like the let ace.
Let ace? I don't know. I'd probably go with ace let. That sounds better to me.
Ace let? An ace let.
Just shouting
Just
out.
yelling that after you hit a like deuce point, no ad point, huge serve, trickles over, you just yell ace-let. It's going to get in your opponent's head big time.
Big ace-let on 6.
Matt, you were a college athlete. You played up at UND. Did you guys play lets when you were?
Yeah, my first year in 2015 of that fall, I believe, was the first year that they went to the no lets thing, and I like it, honestly. I think a lot of people make a big deal out of, oh, like what if it trickles over? It's like, well, that happens in rallies all the time. So for me, it makes sense, especially at that high level, to just play everything out, because I don't know, like I like it too, because you can't hook somebody. Like if there's a big ace, you know, you could just call a let, say it hit the net, and there's no way to overrule. So
right.
I don't know. I like it.
This is a dumb question, but just because I haven't really played with that rule too much, like, do you think it ends up benefiting the returner more than the server, or is it usually, like, you know what I'm saying, like when it trickles over or kicks up super high, like do you find that you feel more frustrated as a returner or as a server with playing the let?
Yeah, I think at the higher levels, I think it benefits the returner more, because I think the ball will sit up more on a harder serve. It won't just trickle over. So at least in my experience, I think it definitely benefits a returner at the higher levels when you're dealing with serves that are going, you know, upwards of 100 miles an hour, and the ball just like sits up, versus like if you got, you know, like a 3 singles, you know, high school player, you know, or D3 player or whatever, like right, just like hits a little blooper, then it's going to just trickle over. So probably benefit the server in that case.
You're not getting anything. The amount of times it does just kind of drop over is probably very few when you're getting that big a serve. So I figured that was the case. I was just curious. I didn't know if.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely depends on the level for sure.
Yep.
Like the subtle shot at D3 right there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but we're not talking about you guys. We're talking about Martin Luther, buddy.
Fair.
You can bleep that out. I shouldn't have done that.
Insert the name of some other like shitty tennis school.
God, we just hosted them. So,
do you agree with that, Petro? Though, do you think it's easier for the returner on those?
I don't know. The thing is, it depends on like the match, but like, I mean, today in practice, I had 3 like easy sit up forehand winners off a serve, but like, I don't know. It just depends on like, I feel like it doesn't really, it's like both ways. Usually sometimes it's a server, but I mean, I'd probably take the returner mostly, but I don't know. There's been times where I've had like a big point, I'd hit a great serve and it trickles over and it's like, all right, let's go. but I don't know. Probably more often the returner, but
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta know. Do you ever ace-let Nikita?
I've done it before. He does not get happy. He does not like it. But Nikita's done it to his opponents before, and he shouted out some stuff before. So Nikita's definitely a guy that would say ace-lit. So
100%. He loves that.
That's what I really wanted to know.
mm.
I'm kind of curious.
I think. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm kind of curious. So Nikita is always very fired up. I watched one of your guys' matches online, and he was screaming quite a bit. So it drew me into watching his match. I'm kind of curious. So do you guys have any sort of like a rivalry with a different team, or maybe some like bad beef or anything like that because of the shouting and getting hyped or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean we're hated pretty, like everyone really hates us. Like Toby Boyer came up a few weeks ago with Dylan Sperry from OTR, and they watched one of our matches and they're like, I played 4 years in Nebraska. Like this is insane, because like I think that match I wasn't in the lineup, so I was like cheering the entire time, and like I'm the loudest cheerer out there. Like there's no one comes close to me. Like I chirp hard, I do all that. And like Toby, like he was just not like, in Nebraska, obviously they were rowdy, but like, yeah, we are extremely loud. We are a very, very rowdy group. And I think that's the reason why we've had some big wins in the previous years. Is just we're tough to play against, especially at home at Choice. Like we'll get a crowd there, and yeah, we do not hold back. And the nice thing about playing at Choice is we're really good friends with the umpires, because they hit in at the drills at Choice and they always talk to us, and so we could pretty much get away with anything. I've said the most disgusting, terrible stuff, and they just look at me and they just give me a Petro, don't do that, but like they'll never warn me. And then when I go when we go play other places, like within 20 minutes, I'm getting a warning first, like right away off the hand from an umpire. So yeah, we're very rowdy.
You might want to cut that out.
Originally from Greece, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I was born in California. When I was 2, I moved to Greece, lived there for 12 years, and then I moved to Minneapolis, and then, North Dakota now. So I've been all over.
What's next in the plans for you?
Good question. So I'm going to be figuring that out in the next few weeks. But basically, I've wanted to be a Division I coach since I was like 18, probably. Like my mom played at UCLA, won a national championship. And so like I've always been a huge college tennis fan, but like she'd always show me like her ring, and I was like, that's sick. Like I want to be a part of that. Coming to North Dakota, we obviously don't really have a chance of that. But to win, I mean, we could win a conference ring, but winning a national championship ring. So the ultimate goal for me is to be a head coach at a program that wins a national championship. So for me, the next step is I got to somehow get my foot in the door in a program. I'm like a high 10, low 11 UTR. So it's tough getting these jobs. Usually if you're like top 30, top 40 in the country, you could get an assistant coaching job. But even then, it's pretty tough. It doesn't really happen that much. Like one guy I know, he played like 5 for Baylor. He was like 100 in the country 2 years ago, and now he's at Cornell. He's an assistant, but it rarely happens. So the next step is you got to be a volunteer assistant. Volunteers, they don't get paid. You're technically a third coach. You're allowed to travel with the team. You're allowed to do everything a coach does, but you're not paid. Actually, I take that back. Sorry, you're not allowed to recruit. It's something you're not allowed to do, but you're not paid. And then, you teach lessons on the side. Usually, you run the camps at the schools you're at, and you could rack in probably 30 to 40,000 a year just teaching random lessons. But you're a volunteer, and then you do that for 3-4 years at a big time school, and then build some connections, and then work your way up to get that assistant coaching job. So for me, I'm graduating, and I am looking at volunteer jobs. I've reached out to a lot of schools. So had some interviews so far that have gone pretty well. And yeah, so waiting to see where life takes me with that. But yeah, the goal is to get a volunteer job at a pretty big time school, either like a top 30 program or a Power 5. And then, yeah, I want, the goal is to be there for 3 years. I gave myself like 3 years of doing that, and then try to be an assistant coach by the time I'm 26. And then goal is to try to be a head coach by the time I'm 30, which is pretty young. It's pretty unheard of. So I got some pretty big time goals. We'll see if they work out. But yeah, that's kind of the next steps for me.
What? So, Petro, when I saw you in Fargo, man, like last July, you were talking about a relationship you had with a coach already. I can't remember which school it was. I want to say it was in Wisconsin.
Yeah, so Danny Westerman. Yeah, I've been in discussion with him. It's not for sure, so we're still like in talking. But yeah, I've actually just recently started reaching out to schools. So yeah, I don't know. The goal is to be somewhere out of the Midwest. I want to see something new. Wisconsin's obviously a great program. Like I'd be honored to be there. But yeah, I that one isn't for sure anything, like nothing's kind of come from it yet. So, but yeah, I mean, I've reached out to a lot of schools. It's really tough right now because the rule actually just did change for the NCAA. So now volunteers aren't technically going to be called volunteer assistants. So if you go on websites, they will, on the roster, they'll say like the third coach is a volunteer. That's the title, volunteer assistant. Now it's just considered an assistant coach. You can be a volunteer, like you can not get paid, but it's the athletic department's budget. And if they have enough money, they can technically now pay a third coach. So this just all happened a few weeks ago. So it's been weird seeing this. So I've emailed a lot of schools, and a lot of schools are responding with like, hey, our athletic department is deciding in a few weeks whether we're going to do a paid coach for our third option or just keep it as a volunteer. So yeah, it's kind of just a weird new rule, but I mean, it's good for tennis because I mean, having a third coach is going to be awesome. It's going to drive people to be coaches now more. So yeah, that was pretty new. So like, for example, I was talking to Wake Forest the other day, and that's like an incredible program. They've won national championships before. And yeah, their athletic department just announced that they're going to pay their third coach. Probably not going to be much. Probably going to be between like 40 and 50,000. So not a lot, but still, that's good. It's pretty benefits as well. So yeah, I mean, I was talking to him about it, and he's like, it was pretty tough because in the email he was writing me, he was like, I would for sure take you if we had a volunteer assistant, but we are paying our third coach now. So obviously they want to get a pretty big time guy. For me, I'm 22. I don't have the resume yet to do that. So, but yeah, that's been pretty interesting dealing with that. So the Wisconsin, actually, that was one where he's like, we're figuring out if we're going to pay our third coach or if they're going to be a volunteer. So he'd said he'd let me know. So, but yeah.
Nice. That's super interesting.
Sure. It's exciting being at the starting line with Blue Ocean ahead of you for sure.
Yeah. No, right now it's just really getting my foot in the door. And yeah, I've had a lot of phone calls with coaches, so just waiting for the right opportunity right now.
I like that you have like a moderately long-term plan. You got, more or less 10 years in the future where you're kind of planning out. That's like pretty unique.
I mean, yeah, I'm a big time planner. I've planned a lot. Usually in life, plans don't work out, so we'll see. I don't know, like as well as you want them to. Like this is something that was pretty intriguing. I've always been a big fan of Australia. Margot Robbie, babe. But she's a babe.
Oh,
but yeah, my mom works at an academy in Vegas, and my younger brother trains there. It's called No Quit, and they had the head of Tennis Australia there a few weeks ago giving like a presentation. My mom ended up talking to him about me, and he was like, get him to call me. Let's set up something. I would love to have him like work out in Melbourne with us with Tennis Australia, and so that would be a pretty cool gig. So right now, like I really want to do college tennis next year, but if that's a pretty cool opportunity, I'd love to live there. So like if that's like a good gig, I might take that. So yeah, we'll see. I don't really know for sure what my 10-year plan is, but I just know I want to be a younger guy in this career. So
yeah, that's sweet. Anyone else have any
awesome.
input before we go to the next topic?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think the volunteer assistant thing is awesome. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but I was a volunteer assistant for a year at UND, my senior year, and I mean that was the main thing that got me my current position, getting into tennis management. So I mean, regardless of whether that leads to Tennis Australia or a coaching job, I think it's like so cool to have that on your resume, and it's like so much fun. I mean, whether you just be a part of them still. So
yeah, and then there's been so many like Wake Forest, for example. He played at Western Illinois. They got cut a while back, but yeah, he was not a good player. And Tony Bruschi is his name, and like that's how he started off. Worked his way up, like for years. Wasn't a very good player. Was probably my level or maybe even a little bit worse, and then just kept grinding, kept working his way up. And I mean, you see it with a lot of coaches. A lot of coaches aren't the best players, and that's how they do it is with volunteer assistants. So it's pretty cool that it's an opportunity for us.
Yeah. You playing any of the Dakota tournaments this summer?
I'm hoping to. So my brother's getting married in Greece actually this summer. So I'm going to be there from June 3rd until June 26th. So yeah, I'll definitely play Fargo, which I think is like July 7th. Might have to come out to Bismarck this year. Gonna try, but yeah, I might look into Sioux Falls, but we'll see. But
Mankato.
What about you, Isaac? You gonna play any of them?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get more in shape so I don't cramp up versus Nikita in the second round.
Hey, mixed doubles though, you'll make a lot of money with mixed doubles.
Yeah, Lex and I, let's go.
Let's go, dream team.
So let's transition into our feature match. I'm curious what you have to think about this, Petro. We got Stefanos Tsitsipas, who is from Greece, versus Taylor Fritz, the American. They're battling in Monte Carlo here. Stefanos Tsitsipas is 3-0 versus the American right now. Obviously, you are a college athlete. You're not going to be betting real money or anything like this on this match. But who do you think would win the matchup like this?
If I could bet right now, I'd put every penny in with Tsitsipas. The guy is a beast on clay. He's got a lot to prove this year. He hasn't had a great hard court season so far. He has been a little hurt. But yeah, Fritz, like, he didn't look that great against Lateka. I don't think Fritz can outlast Tsitsipas. He's going to be there all day. He's going to make balls. And yeah, I just think Taylor Fritz, like, obviously on a hard court, this would be way different. And Fritz has been playing great lately. But yeah, I think Tsitsipas on clay, I think he's one of the best players in the world right now. I'd probably put him at 3 right now in the world behind Djokovic and Nadal. So I think Tsitsipas is going to win probably in straight sets. I'm going to take him straight sets, like a 6-4, 7-5 win.
All right, I like that. Kind of unique saying that he's 3 in the world when Rafa hasn't played in a while and Djokovic just lost to Musetti.
Djokovic is the greatest player of all time. He'll figure it out. Yeah, and Nadal's second greatest player of all time, beast on clay. Nadal's gonna. I think French Open final is gonna be Djokovic versus Nadal, and it's gonna be one of the most watched matches of all time. But yeah, I think Tsitsipas, like, he's obviously a great player. My brother actually played him in Greece, so I know Tsitsipas's brother. His brother's name is Petro actually. So I've like hit with his brother a few times, and then my older brother Abe played Tsitsipas in a Greek tournament. He lost like 0-2, but like it was actually sick. Like the kid when he was like 14 was playing like under 18s and just destroying everybody. So
yeah, dang. Well, JF, what do you think about this matchup? What's your bet for the week?
First of all, this isn't the one I wanted to be talking about. So, for two reasons. One, I was hoping we'd be talking about. I was hoping the other half of this would have been Stan, that he would have won against Fritz, and then I mean, you kind of picked the boring half of the draw. Bottom, you've got Runa, Medvedev, Sinner, and I think one of those guys will probably win. I'm hoping it's Runa, just personally. But anyway, you know what? We are not to go against the Greeks here, but we're in Monte Carlo. Let's go to the casino and put $40 on Fritz.
Hey.
And he seems to be I don't know if I want to say a friend of the show, but a favorite of the show, and at least him or members of his entourage I seem to hear about a lot. So
you guys actually like Fritz? I can't stand him. He's so boring.
Hey, I said the show, not me specifically.
Who likes Fritz here? Who's a Fritz fan? Besides his girlfriend, what is there special about him?
That changes things.
I don't mind Fritz. I wouldn't say I'm like a massive fan of
I'm
him,
more of a
but
Ben Shelton guy.
Yeah, Shelton's a beast.
I mean, Fritz
More of a Ben
beat
Shelton guy, for
Shelton the last time they played. But I don't know. Like, I think Fritz is a super consistent guy. He was, he hit top 5 in the world, about a month ago, whatnot. He's the top American. I think you always got to root for the top American, or at least, I like to root for the top American. Is he the most intriguing guy? No, there's been, a lot of great Americans in the past, Agassi, Sampras. I don't think, Taylor Fritz is on that level by any means, but if he wins a major, I think that, I think he becomes a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
Didn't he win you some money last year? Or was it previous year? For Indian Wells?
Isaac and I got into it once. What was that, Isaac? Before Fritz won Indian Wells, I was just like talking mad shit about Fritz, how he's a huge pretender and a bitch, and then he won the next tournament or something, and just went after it before it.
I can't remember if I put money on him.
No, but you had that, like one of your very early tennis with Ike videos was you being excited about Fritz winning or something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember, but probably was, and that's why I'm defending him right now. So, but let's go back. Let's go down to Matt Hokinson. Matt, what's your bet for the week?
I have to agree with Petro on the Tsitsipas being like his other sis, and I don't think Fritz is as elite. I still think he's a great clay court player, but I think Tsitsipas is just gonna be too solid. So I'm gonna do I'll go Tsitsipas. I think it'll be 2 tight sets.
Do you think he's gonna win 2-0? Matt?
Yeah.
All right. How much do you want to put on that one?
Oh, sorry. There's a lagger. There we go. Oh, I'm gonna put $20.
All right. It's at plus 105, so we got $20 to win 21. Next in the betting lineup, you got Jared. What's your bet for the week?
Yeah, I thought about taking a flyer on Fritz to keep up with my theme of going against the pack, just because I don't know. It seems like we're always incorrect when we vote the same way. But I do believe that Tsitsipas will pull this one off. I don't have too much faith in Fritz bucking the trend of having not won against Tsitsipas yet. Plus, he's been playing great, and he's playing on clay. So I was going back and forth because I want to take a little bit of a flyer instead of just taking the money line straight up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bet that Tsitsipas wins it 2-1 in particular, with the set score being 2-1, and hope that Fritz can pull off one set. Just because that way it gives me a little better payday if I hit that bet. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to put $20 on that.
All right, we got 20 to win 52. It's at plus 260. Big bet Barter, what's your bet for the week?
All right. Well, this is gonna be painful for me to take here, but I'm gonna take Stefanos in 2 sets, $30 over Fritz. But my God, Stefanos is an absolute baby back bitch, and it makes a lot of sense to me that Rune left his coach because he's been spending too much time around Stefanos, also his coach. What's his name? Patrick.
Morataglu.
Yeah, I'll never get that name right, but I think the bitchitis was wearing off on him, and his career looks like it's on a good trajectory, and separating himself from that negative energy was the move for my guy Rune. But I don't know. All in all, just being completely objective here, Stefanos is unreal on clay, and I mean, yeah, Taylor Fritz has been playing well as of late, but no chance he's competing with Tsitsipas on clay. So taking him in 2 sets, $30. Give me my money.
All right, 30 to win 31.50. Eric, last but not least, until me, I guess. What's your bet?
Yeah. So last time Tsitsipas was a featured match of the week, I took a very favored bet and put 30 on it, and it was in Tsitsipas's favor, and I unfortunately lost $30 that week. So that was also on a hard court, and Tsitsipas is way better on clay, one of the best in the world for sure. But I just can't bring myself to step back into the the losing mode. So I'm gonna shift my line to 27 and a half games. 27 and a half games all the way to, I don't even know what direction that is. 27 and a half, and I'm going to take the under at minus 265, and I'm going to put 20 on that.
All right.
Eric got burned taking a safe bet, so he's going with the safest bet of all time.
We got 20 to win 760 at minus 265 for Eric there. And my bet for the week, I think this is gonna be a close match. I think Fritz, he definitely is not the favorite in this match. But I think he's gonna serve one good set. So I think he's going to bring this one to a tiebreaker in one of these sets. So I'm gonna bet on the tie breaks, the over on tie breaks. It's at plus 120. I'm gonna put $20 on this one to win 24. Yeah, that'll conclude the betting for the week.